welcome back to my channel. My name is Johnny. You're now connected with Johnny Girl 609. I'd like to thank you all so very much for being back here again with me today. I got to give that special shout out to my members. Everyone that hits that PayPal, them super chats and super thanks. You continue to hit that like button, share, and subscribe to the channel. How can I thank you all enough? How to give a special shout out to Lone Wolf Usel. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and do a reaction to one of his videos today. So let's go on and see what Lone Wolf Usel got.
Go Johnny, 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 go Johnny.
Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
There's a lot of distracted defendants this morning. And if we're not going to be able to come to court appropriately on Zoom, we're going to have to come in person. So I'm going to attempt this. I'm going to attempt to do Mr. Harris's case. But Mr. Harris has 2 and 3 devices. He keep putting his fingers and stuff up to the camera. I'm not going to be able to do it. So if Mr. Harris is not going to be able,
here we go,
to be stationary, seated in an upright position, and not keep putting his fingers and stuff in the camera, he's going to have to come in person. This is case number 234579701, the people of the state of Michigan versus Michael Eric Harris. The defendant is charged with 1 count of driving while license suspended, revoked, denied, 1 count of security fail, and 1 count of unregistered motor vehicle. Today is the date set for pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Ritter on behalf of the people.
And yes, Your Honor, Brandon Bird on behalf of Michael Harris. Mr. Harris, can you please unmute yourself and state your full name for the record?
Greetings. This is Harris Michael Eric, authorized representative of Michael Eric Harris.
I only want Michael Eric Harris. I don't want any authorized representative. The law indicates that there is no authorized representative on behalf of the person. If Michael Harris is not present, then the person who's holding up those papers should not have come to court. So I'm going to go ahead and remove them, or I put them back in the breakout room. You can find out if this is Michael Harris. If it is not Michael Eric Harris, I don't want to speak to him. I am not going to conduct court.
I just love her no nonsense. I just really love her no nonsense. I don't feel like playing games today. This is what it is. Take it or leave it. I just love her no nonsense. I really do.
Court with anyone other than Michael Eric Harris. So this person can go back to the breakout room and you can find out if this is Michael Harris. If it's not, then they're free to go. This person who is free to go, who is holding up papers saying he's not Michael Harris, is free to go if he's not Michael Harris. I'm ready on Cancerero. All right. Okay, I'm ready to recall case number 234579701, the people versus Michael Eric Harris. The defendant is charged with driving while license suspended, revoked, denied, operating an unregistered motor vehicle, and security fail, which is no insurance. Appearances again, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Ritter on behalf of the people.
Yes, Your Honor, Brandon Bird on behalf of Michael Harris. Mr. Harris, can you please unmute yourself and state your full name for the record?
Michael Eric Harris.
Today is the day set for a pretrial conference. How are we proceeding?
We'd like to set this matter for a final pretrial, Your Honor.
Court is going to continue a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Harris and set the matter for a final pretrial conference. This is basically a traffic case, though. So I wasn't ordering discovery. Is there any really discovery? I wasn't ordering discovery. This is like one of those cases that state police wasted a whole bunch of paper instead of writing tickets.
Your Honor, it looks like there is some paper discovery. I'll just check the IR to see if there's any body or video discovery, and if so, I'll send.
I do have to agree with Mr. Wolf down here. He says, to be fair, the state police did their job. It's Mr. Harris who is causing the wasted paper, not the police. I agree. They did their job. They wrote the ticket. It's him that Mr. Harris who wants to be a sovereign. But it looks like he changed that when he's seen that Judge Bryant was not playing those games with him today. He's a little too old to be playing these games. You know you did wrong. Pay the ticket. Go about your life. Be done with it. Let's just be done. So I do have to agree with Wolf on this.
Send that over to Stevenson and or Mr. Byrd.
All right, so the court is going to set the final pretrial conference. Let's go ahead and, well, is the April 16th date a good enough time for you to do that, Ms. Ritter?
Yep, Judge, I just sent paper and I just looked. There is video, so I'll send that over today.
All right, then the court is going to set final pretrial conference for April 16th at 9:00 a.m. and she just sent discovery, Mr. Byrd. So if there's any video, or I think she said there is video, so she'll send that as well.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Well, that was a quick one, in and out, and I think I got one more for you, but Judge Bryant do not play no games. I really like her courtroom. She's no nonsense. She can be a little extra tough sometimes, but I kind of like that, though. You know, that's just me. I kind of like that, especially when you're old enough to know. You know, he's not a teenager. He's got a head full of gray. You know what I mean? Face full of gray. You know better than that. Just pay the ticket, move on your way, and let's move on. But hang on, I got one more.
Ms. Bay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I can hear you too. All right, this is 240P01688. This is the People versus Lita Bay. Officer Milosh, would you please state your name?
Yes, ma'am. First name Nathan, Nathan. Last Milosh, Mloche.
And Ms. Bay, would you please state your name?
I'm the executrix of the estate for Lita Bay.
All right, we're here today for, looks like a ticket that was issued back on July 14th of 2024. All right, Officer Milosh, it's the government's burden, so you'll go first. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalties of perjury?
I do.
All right, so what can you tell me about the ticket that was issued on July 14th, 2024 to Lita Bay at Coolidge and Pearson in the city of Oak Park?
Yes, ma'am. The citation was issued due to Miss Bay disobeying the red light at actually Coolidge and North End. Once we got through that intersection, Miss Bay did come to a stop at Coolidge and Pearson, and then once that light cycled through, I initiated a traffic stop just north of Pearson, just south of Albany on Coolidge.
I just have one question. Are all the South citizens named Bay? It seems like they're all named Bay, but let's go.
There at about approximately 10:45 p.m. At that time, I went up to speak to Miss Bay. Initially, she refused. She did provide a license and eventually started speaking with me. Returned to my patrol vehicle, at which time she exited her vehicle, went to the rear of her vehicle, opened up her trunk. Went up to speak with her and escort her back to her seat in her car, at which point she started resisting. So my fellow officer and I took her to the front of my car, spoke with her, initially handcuffed for officer safety. We released her without charging her for the misdemeanor for resisting and obstructing, and we just went with the disobey red light. And actually, at minute 158 of my body cam, Miss Bay does admit to the infraction of disobeying the red light, stating she had to use the bathroom.
When you say resisting, what do you mean?
So initially we went up to her, asked her to step away from the trunk. Obviously we didn't know what was in there. She then began to retreat from officers. We then grabbed her arm to help escort her to her vehicle, at which point she tensed up, pulled away, and started screaming at us.
What do you mean by screaming? What did she say?
Am I able to reference my report I have here?
You may.
Thank you. All I have here is that she kept screaming, "Help me." Initially, when she was in her vehicle, she stated she didn't want to speak with us and that we were forcing her to say things against her will, and that she was nervous because we had our sidearms and we were near her children. Once she was resisting, all I have noted here is that she kept screaming, "Help me." And that's all I've got in terms of that. I don't have access to my body camera footage at this time.
Why is that?
No access to the body cam. Well, dang, we might as well cut this video off. Okay, guys, I'll see you later. No, I'm just kidding. Come on. But get your bingo cards ready.
This is virtual court, so I don't have access to evidence.com.
All right. And Miss Bay?
I'm the executrix for the I'm the executrix for the trust for Lita Bay.
All right, Miss Bay, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalties of perjury?
I do.
All right. What can you tell me about the ticket that was issued to you?
Your Honor, I actually put in paperwork and asked for discovery, and I was advised that I shouldn't testify until I get my discovery packet.
So this isn't a criminal case. It's a civil infraction. You were free to order under the Freedom of Information Act any information regarding this case prior to the hearing. So it's not like a criminal case. It's a different standard. It's just a preponderance. It's not beyond a reasonable doubt. But you most certainly would have had access to that if you just FOIA'd the report or the body cam in this case. But we are having the hearing today, and you're free to give me your side of the story if you so choose.
On the day in question, I went through a red light. I had to use the bathroom, like really desperately. I had 3 teenagers in the car with me. And when the officers approached my vehicle, touching their sidearms, my daughter had the identification, and I explained to them that this was a trust situation. And they didn't care. She was terrified, and she ended up taking out my ID because she did not want us to get killed or beat up or anything, because things have happened to family members. I didn't want to get tased. She didn't want us to get tased or beaten or killed. So she ended up taking out my ID because I did not have to identify. It was not a situation for identifying, but we were forced to because of the guns and stuff, and my children were terrified. My son's girlfriend was in the car. She was terrified. I told him it was a trust situation, and I told him I had to use the restroom, and because he said something about me going through the red light, which there was no traffic. The traffic light is to direct.
So, ma'am, Mrs. Bay, even if it was not no traffic, even if it was no one at the traffic light, it's still a traffic light. You know that. You have 3 teenagers in the car. You are the adult. You are the one that's supposed to set the example. There's no way that your daughter should have to get your ID out of your purse, especially being teenagers in the car. If you want to be an adult and be responsible while you're on the road, especially if you have teenagers in the car. I don't understand why you would like to show the teenagers that type of attitude, especially when they get on a stop. They're going to think that it's okay to do it in the near future. And then you get out and you go in the trunk. Why would you do that? Why would you display that type of attitude and behavior in front of the kids? I just don't understand that. Every officer is going to wear a firearm on him, a taser on him. You already know how it goes. If you don't want to do that, I don't know why you just will not take the city bus. Take an Uber. Get on a bike. Excuse me. It does not matter. You're using that for an excuse. And the most unfortunate thing about this all, to me, is you had teenagers in the car, and they're going to think that it's okay for you to do it. It's going to think that it's okay with that victimhood mentality, because it sounds like victimhood mentality to me. I could be wrong, but that's just the way it sounds like to me, that it's victimhood mentality because you stopped and because you had to use the restroom, that it's okay for you to go ahead and jump out the car, not show your ID or anything else. That's not an excuse. I ain't never seen anywhere on the license when you read through all that and you agree to following the rules of the road. So I just think that it's really unfortunate the way that you handled the situation, Bumquisha, and it's just unacceptable. And it's just really unacceptable. It don't make no sense. But let's continue.
Traffic, there was no traffic. I really had to go, and I was really trying to get to the destination because I have a medical condition that's life-threatening right now. So I explained it was a trust, and they went to the car, and I got out to get tissue out my car, which I have a receipt and a picture that I did have tissue in my car. I was going to use the bathroom on the side of the house or wherever, because I was not going to expose myself to waste matter with my blood condition. They came up to me, and I was like, ma'am, what are you doing? They all rushed towards me. They all grabbed me. Then all of a sudden, somebody had their hands between my legs, brisket touching me, my breasts, searching me. They pushed me up against the car. They put cuffs on me in front of my children. They put me in the back of the car. I was screaming for help. They went up to the car, and they were taunting my son in front of his girlfriend and his little sister who looks up to him. Like, I said,
they're supposed to be looking up to you. They're supposed to be looking up to you. You know you have that medical condition. Maybe you need to go back to the DMV and have them put that on your driver's license with a doctor's document stating that this is what it is. If you have to use the restroom with your blood work, and I don't know what they got to do with the blood work. I don't know. But that's something you need to take to maybe the DMV. You're talking about the little sister looks up to the big brother. Who looks up to you? Who looks up to you? I don't understand this. This kind of victimhood mentality. I was going to pee on the side of the house. Isn't there like a McDonald's or a Wendy's or a Walmart or something along the way? Maybe you could have went in there. Can I use your bathroom real quick? Can I go to the bathroom? You didn't have to go on the side of the road. You just did what you wanted to do. And we know that you did what you wanted to do because you're wanting to be here as a sovereign. So we know you're doing what you want to do. But let's continue.
I just had to use the bathroom. I asked them nicely. I said, can you please just sit me on the ground? I do not want to waste inside of your car. I wasted myself in my car once I got back in my car after they put me in the back of the car. So that's what happened on that day. And I asked the officers, how would you want your mother handled, an older woman? And he did this in front of my children. I went to the temple earlier that day, a sacred in the Hindu temple, and did sacred rituals. Wasn't nobody supposed to be touching me. And somebody just came up to me and was touching between my legs and my breast. And I don't know where they came from, and they were all surrounding me.
Anything else you want to say, Ms. Bay?
I was screaming for help because I was terrified for my life. I was not guilty of anything, but needing to use the bathroom and not wanting to soil myself. I just wanted to get to my destination.
You were guilty. You admitted yourself that you went through the red light because there was no traffic. You was guilty. You want to skip over that part. You was guilty. Admit your wrongs. Teach your children the correct way so we don't got to ship them out to sea, and you and your children, and then you can go about your business. This is not the way to conduct yourself, whether you have a medical emergency or not. This is just a lame excuse. It's a very lame excuse. I'm telling you, you need to go to the DMV and let them know about your condition. And maybe they won't even let you drive no more if you can't handle the rules of the road, because of your medical condition is so bad. Because if you go through red lights and another car is coming and it's their turn to come through the red light, through their green light, and you're coming through the red because of your medical condition, what happens then? Only person on the road that matters is you. Everybody else got conditions. Not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. So it doesn't make any sense. And the main thing is that you displayed this behavior in front of the children. And let's continue.
The nation, which was off of Oneida and 9 Mile, which literally 2 minutes away. I did not make it.
All right, the court has heard the testimony from Officer Milosh and from Ms. Bay in this case. The standard is a preponderance of evidence. Mr. Milosh testified that he saw Ms. Bay run the red light at Coolidge and North End. Ms. Bay acknowledged running the red light in question in this case. The people's burden is satisfied beyond a preponderance of the evidence in this case. I'm finding Ms. Bay responsible for running a red light. The fine is going to be $165. You'll have till October 1st to pay it. I will send that to the Novara address where we sent the other notices, so you'll get the paperwork in the mail. You're all set.
Excuse me, Your Honor. So what I'm asking you is, I have a question. You're telling me, is the court telling me that trust situations are not seen as trust because this is a trust matter? This is not
right,
what
so
you
Ms.
think.
Bay, there's no trust situation recognized by the court. You are responsible. Make sure you pay the fine by October 1st. All right, you're all set. Have a great day.
Very much.
The only trust matter is that we're going to trust that when they give you that driver's license that you're going to abide by the rules of the road. They're also going to trust that when you say that you are raising your children, that you're going to raise your children correctly. We're also going to trust that when you go ahead and show your children how to become adults and how to conduct themselves in society, that you will be a positive role model. We're also going to trust that you are not a sovereign citizen, and that's not your name, and no representative, no temple, or nothing else is going to change that. That's what we're going to trust. I don't trust that you went to soiled on yourself in the bathroom on your chair. If you did, then I trust that is your own fault. I would like to know what y'all think about it in the comment section. My name is Johnny. Welcome to all my new subscribers. I'll meet you in the comment section. Bye.